Imagine it's the end of the month and the CEO of Acme is planning out some strategic investments. In a meeting, the sales team reports a profit margin of 70%, yet marketing says it's 80%. This doesn't really make any sense, especially since they both pull from the same data source. The CEO doesn't know which number is correct, and this can have severe consequences if the wrong decision is made. They kept digging for answers and they finally found it. Marketing was counting campaign expenses that sales wasn't.
Okay, so this problem's not hidden somewhere in the data. It's just each team has a different interpretation of what profit margin is supposed to mean. And without a way to standardize metrics like this, these problems are bound to happen. If only they had a way to translate their raw data into reusable business logic, these problems might never happen.
The semantic layer is an abstraction layer that sits between the raw data and the people who need to analyze it. It converts technical database structures like the SQL needed to calculate profit margin or churn into everyday business metrics in terms that are much, much easier to understand. Think of it like a menu at a restaurant. You don't need to tell the waiter, mix flour with water, add tomato sauce, maybe some cheese, and cook at 425 for 20 minutes. You can just say, I think I'm gonna take a pizza. In this case, the menu is our semantic model, pizza is our metric,
and you are the analyst who needs to understand all of this. So in order to keep this all in your head, I made you a checklist.
Semantic models translate raw data into reusable metrics and business logic. Using standard metrics eliminates interpretation confusion, and less confusion leads to better decisions overall.
And I think we all want to make better decisions in life. Now, I know this sounds perfect, but the way semantic models are implemented today, honestly, it's a bit flawed. First, there's vendor lock-in.
Each tool takes a slightly different approach to semantic modeling, such that models only works within its own ecosystem. If you want to adopt GPT metric flow, but all your models are built in LookML, well, LookML only works in Looker. You'll have to rebuild most of it from scratch if you want to adopt a new tool.
And then there's an overly restrictive aspect of some of these tools. They want every single piece of logic to be in a semantic model. Bruh. This makes all those one-off questions like who bought stuff during that flash sale last week, or what happened when we changed the checkout button color, add a ton of noise and fluff to the so-called well-governed model. These models start feeling like a prison rather than a jumping off point, which is not what we want to do here at Hex. So we built Yeah, we're just not trying to lock you into anything new at all. I fight for your freedom.
So rather than making you learn some proprietary new spec, Hex persistently sings from open source solutions like dbt metric flow, Cube, or you can bring in what you've already built from LookML. And sync models sit alongside the rest of your data in Hex, just waiting to be explored. Different models show you different data sets, and each data set shows you all the different dimensions, measures, and joins that Hex discovers for you. Remember all that confusion about profit margin interpretations? Well, this is where all those standardized definitions come into play. Each of these measures is a predefined metric that anyone can use, eliminating any mixed signals on how it's calculated. Anyone can just drag and drop, say, food revenue to build visualizations and answer those burning questions. And if you need to go off the rails a bit, Hex doesn't restrict you to a drag and drop interface like most other tools. You can pop your Explorer into a Hex notebook if you have some questions that need a bit more analytical power. Try throwing the results of your Explorer into SQL to write more complex queries against the output. And you can even keep doing this with more Python cells, SQL cells, Explorer cells, and the list goes on and on and on. In classic Hex fashion, finished projects can be published and shared for easy viewing. And the explorations don't stop when you do. Anyone looking at your published app who has follow-up questions can get answers based on the same model data without making any requests to the data team. So go ahead, sync those models, explore your data, and let the insights tell a unified story.